video. Guys, for new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Become a member on the YouTube or join Patreon. And something about Wraithax.eth domain name. Really love him. The best dude. There's a lot to go over today. No, this is not a stripper pole. This is a giant photograph from Steve Cannon Photography. This is I cannot comment enough about how amazing that artwork is. How amazing! The link down below to the Predator project. That's what it's part of. It's the first one ever made. There are 3 of them that are going to be up for sale. I think 3 or 5. And you could either buy the physical copy and then get a free NFT, or buy the NFT and get a free physical copy. Anyway, let me know if you want any of those. Anywho, we got a couple of things going on. One thing that I just got a message saying, a new documentary about Stan Lee is headed to Disney+. This is from Empire Magazine. I want to go over that in another video at some point. Empire Magazine, it has 615,000 followers, so they obviously know what they're doing. Can't heckin' wait. All right, so there's a couple of things to go over. I don't want to make this like a 40-minute intro and then start getting the questions, so I'll try to shorten it to maybe 20-something minutes or maybe 30. We'll go over, first off, that thumbnail, which Dan Lee had reported on. It was in the Akomi Telegram chat, so it wasn't like it was a private thing and he leaked it, and at least I hope it wasn't. It was given by one of the mods of the Telegram. I don't know if they're paid. I don't think they are. I think they're just kind of do that. Same with the Discord mods. It's kind of a volunteer basis. But you have Ahmad Amazik saying, or we have someone called MG saying, I see no hope unless listing by Binance, etc. I think he's talking about the OMI token. And Ahmad Amazik says, we can't comment on exchanges. They had said that in the last community update as well. I think Alex had said they couldn't comment on exchanges. They're under NDA. Or NDAs, and talked about exchanges as in multiple. So it's not just one. So if you do get, let's say, Binance, it doesn't sound like they're just getting Binance. Like exchanges like Binance, maybe Coinbase, maybe KuCoin, Kraken, Crypto.com. Okay, I don't know. I'm just naming ones off the top of my head. Anyway, he says, we can point out that Disney renewed, they put but their partnership with Veve, though. Worth noting, isn't it? Question mark. So... People say, Chavez, why didn't you put this in your video before? Chavez, this is breaking news. Chavez, why didn't you cover this? I don't know how long the original contract was for. Let's say it was 5 years. Let's say, they signed in 2018 and it's I don't know if they actually signed in 2018. They probably didn't sign until 2019 or even 2020. But either way, let's say it was for however many years and it was just up and they had the option of renewing or not. Okay, like, you think this is not going to... Did you expect Disney to not renew? I think the contract with Marvel was 10 years. That's what people were asking about. People were saying, oh, well, the contract was for 10 years. I thought, why renew now? And we'll go over that at some point, because you do have some people do have options to renew contracts or redo them before those contracts wind up expiring. So maybe that is what they could have done. Again, I'll get to that in a minute, but... Again, Marvel's contract I think was for 10 years. Disney's apparently was shorter, and this is not like again, it is breaking news because nobody ever heard it before. But is anyone surprised? Like, was there any doubt that they weren't going to do this? And again, Disney would not do this if they weren't making money. There's oh my god, the amount of haters out there. Jesus, like this is very good news, and then people are just like, oh yeah, it's more excuse to milk money out of us. Like, okay, well. What do you think they do at, like, Hot Topic? What do you think they do at, like, the Disney store in New York? What do you think, like, that's everywhere. What's the point of all this? To make money. I mean, yes, is it to bring smiles to people's faces? It's like SpongeBob was like, what could be better than serving up smiles? And then Squidward's like, being dead or anything else. Oh, Squidward, I identify with him so heckin' much. Anyway, we do have another... Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to pull this up. We do have another... Oh, no, that was from this. That's from that. Never listened to... Oh, okay. Duly noted for that on another time. You're not going to be able to go and... You're not going to be able to go and have Disney renew unless they were making a good profit. Again, when you have different licensors, that costs them money. It's not a net neutral for Disney to go and set this up. It's not like, hey, yes, we'll sign this, give you our IP, and it costs us nothing. Now, essentially, having an agreement for digital collectibles is going to be much less costly than it would be for an actual physical collectible. Why? Because for physical collectible, there's overhead. There's a lot of okay. Not only do you have to have the materials to go and make the product, you have to have insurance for the company, for the workers that make them. You have to have trucking contracts with whatever trucking things that you have to go from the factory to people's stores. And again, they make stuff all over the world. So sometimes ships can be involved, sometimes aircraft, sometimes I don't know what things they use. They might have their own fleet of trucks. But again, that is it's very costly. For digital collectibles, hey, here's the design. Nobody needs to make it. Nobody needs to ship it. There's no insurance that you need in case some kid chokes on it and choking hazard. I don't care if there's a choking hazard on there. If a kid chokes on a Disney thing, they're probably going to try to sue. That being said, this one again, it's not bad for the environment. There's no plastics involved. But again, it's not free for them because they do have to go and have somebody. And again, Disney is not an expert in digital collectibles, not an expert in NFTs or blockchain. So they would probably have to hire someone that knows this stuff. It's like at the end of Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest, where Tia Dalma is saying like, "What would you do to rescue Captain Jack? You're going to need a captain that knows the waters." And then again, you need a captain that knows the waters. You need someone that's educated enough in blockchain and NFTs and all this to be able to say, "Hey, this is a good deal. This is not a good deal." And however much Disney paid for that person, they're probably not enough. They made the best deal possible because again, you could have this with any other NFT platform. Disney already has other collectible platforms. Like they have Disney Arena, which I don't want to say is really collectible. It's more gaming. But Disney Arena, you can get all your favorite characters, and a lot of them you can get just by playing. But some of them you could just buy them. You can go and put money in, and you can go and get Lightning. You can go and get whatever, and then you could buy those characters. And some people do. And there's a game attached to it. Like there's a fun game that is attached to the Disney Arena game, and that is attached to these collectibles that you could buy. I don't even some of the people that I know that are big Disney heads don't really play it. There's the Disney collection. I think Biscuits was talking about it, where you can go and you have like stickers, and they're not NFTs. They're just stickers. You can have Bambi. You can have whatever. And Disney has other platforms, but nothing compares to Veve. I don't think anything. I don't think they could do any other platform, any other type of NFT launch, and it'd be as successful as if it were on Veve. Anyway, enough about that. We have. Oh, I'm sorry. There are sometimes, like let's say you have a baseball player that signs on for, like Albert Pujols. Let's say he signed on for like earlier in his career, signed on for like 5 years, right? And then at the end of that 5 years, before he could become a free agent, before he can get contacted about going to play for another team, at like the 4.5 year mark, the Cardinals signed a 7 year, like $100-something million deal. Why? Because he was that good of a player. So before a contract ends, you can go and renegotiate and you can renew again before it ends. You don't have to wait for that contract to finish. You can go and do that. So is that what they did here? Maybe they did have like a 5 or 6 or however many year contract, and then they said, okay, if I'm Disney, I'm thinking like, hey, in this bear market, while Veve's not making as much money as they were in the bull market, while they are, while most of the stuff that sells out is Disney. Well, I'm not gonna. Moana did not sell out. That's a whole other issue we have to go over. I'll go on it now for a minute. I'll go back to the Disney thing. There have been, in general, you have, with movies, you usually wait about 20 years or so before you can do like a reboot. Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings thing that's on, is that on Amazon? Yeah. That is not a reboot. That's just the other age. Like we had one age in Lord of the Rings. We had another age that was before that. Where that series will go, it'll end on the first battle we see in Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring. where you have Lord Elrond and you have Isildur, and they're going, they're fighting, and we cut the ring from Sauron's hand. That battle, it marks the end of that age, and that's where that's where the Amazon Prime series will go. But anyway, they are doing a new Lord of the Rings like reboot series. They're rebooting they're not doing another age. They are going to reboot the Fellowship of the Ring. They're going to reboot the Two Towers, and they're going to reboot Return of the King. And why? Because it's been 20 years. They're doing the same thing with Harry Potter. Well, Harry Potter didn't end until X amount of years. Okay, well, they started. HBO had announced they're rebooting Harry Potter. Again, J.K. Rowling has ideas for other movies. Unfortunately, and everyone comment F down below to pay respects for Fantastic Beasts movies. Fantastic Beasts movies are pretty much done. Warner Bros. Says that there's really no plans for that. As much as I love Fanny Carbonell, who's Mrs. Goldstein, is an actress, she was supposed to be in the next one, but I don't think they're doing it. J.K. Rowling has other plans for other parts in the timeline. Like, we were expecting like a Netflix series of like the Marauders map, where you had the four Marauders that were there. I wanted to see that, or maybe like Snape when he was younger, or Voldemort when he was younger, or even like going back in the day with the Founders, where you have Salazar Slytherin, you have Arena Ravenclaw, you have all of these. There's so many different things that they could do, but they're rebooting it. It's going to be an HBO series, and it's already listed for 10 seasons already. I had this conversation with my friend Meg, where they have and I know I'm getting far off the Disney thing, but I promise I have a track. I have a point to this. You have 10 seasons, but I thought there was only 7 books. Absolutely correct. But even in the movies, they split that 7th book into 2 movies. But there's a lot of stuff that's cut out. I mean, there is a fudge ton of stuff that's cut out. And you're going to be able to, I think Movie Flame has some amazing videos that go over all of the details that the movies miss out on. But anyway, for the first couple of books, you have Philosopher's Stone, you got Chamber of Secrets, and even Prisoner of Azkaban. You could probably do in 1 season each. And for an HBO series, you might have 8 to 10 episodes, and so you could do it in like 45 minutes, an hour episodes, however long they are. The Goblet of Fire gets a little bit longer, so you might be able to squeeze out one. That movie in 1 season. They might just have maybe a couple more episodes, maybe 10 or 11 episodes instead of 8, and they might have longer run times. But for book 5 is over 800 pages. You go from a couple hundred pages each book to Order of the Phoenix, which is my favorite book. So that's probably going to need 2 seasons. And then Half-Blood Prince going to need 2 seasons, and Deathly Hallows, at least 2 seasons. So that's their plan right now. They might even add on to that. Anyway, why I'm bringing all of this up is because I brought up Moana. Usually they wait 20-something years in order to reboot a series. They waited, I think, 25 years, something like that, to bring out what was it? The Lion King, and then they had Beauty and the Beast. Moana came out like last decade. Like, it is not even 10 years old. And The Rock had announced on his Instagram a couple weeks ago that they were doing a live action Moana. And I don't have a Moana yet, but that is I think criminally under. I feel like the audience that would appreciate Moana, which I'm sure that I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars that made. Let's check that out right now. How much money did Moana make? $682 million. That's a lot of money. And there is not a lot of Moana. It's not like in season 2 where you had, when I say season 2, I mean season 2 on Veve, where you had tens of thousands of collectibles for the common. And some of the commons, like, again, when you have like a Fastos, or you have a I don't even know the names of a lot of these Eternals characters, because nobody liked that movie. I thought it was okay, but most people did not like that movie. Now, that being said, I do have all of them. I even have like 1 or 2 of them in a sub 100. But you have such amazing star power there. You have Angelina Jolie, and you have oh god, who's like that? Oh, that badass mommy. Oh god, what's her name? She was in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. She was in hold on. Once Upon. She's as deadly as she is beautiful. One Time in Mexico. It is Selma Hayek. Okay. you have a lot of star power in that movie, especially those two mommies, and it just did not do well. And those commons still have, 18,000 of them for Fastos, 18,000 for Cersei. Although Cersei is really cool. She blinks Iron Man in the comics. It's, oh god, it's amazing. Um, but you still have that. But Moana was a much bigger character than any of those. Has less mints. Oh god, I don't want to go to Discord. I want to get out of there. Let's go to the drops and we'll see. So I think Moana's very undervalued because now it's like, well, Chavez, if she was so undervalued, she would have sold out. Listen, it's just this is not the right crowd that they had marketed this to. Moana had, in general, only 2016 editions, which obviously means 1926. So there's less than 2,000 of her. That is, hey, Sleepin', there is zero reason why only a couple hundred of her sold, as opposed to like all the Marvel Mighties, where all of them sold out. Again, I guarantee that most people here, outside of Sleeping Comics and myself, had even knew all of the Eternals names, and that even knows like that type of trivia, that even knows really like the role that they play before that movie came out. And yeah, the fact that Moana only had a couple hundred sell versus these guys that tens of thousands of them sold, that is a little ridiculous in my opinion. Especially when Moana was so big that they're making her movie a live action movie within 1 decade as a reboot, as opposed to other reboots that often have to wait 20 years to get one. Anyway, most of Disney again does sell out. There is a cost to having Disney have a do these licenses, that they have to pay their lawyers. They have to, like, I don't know what the lawyers get, $1,000 an hour, give or take. And there's a bunch of them. And again, if you take a look at Veve Magic's video that she did with David Yu, which is amazing interview, just go watch it anyway. And you see like the look on her face when David says like, yeah, they took me here, they took me there. And Veve Magic, obviously being, Queen Disney, had said, wait, they did all that? And just our conversations that we had afterwards was like, listen, Disney doesn't do that for like anyone. So if I had to do it for David, like they are so much closer than I would argue most other companies. And again, if I'm Disney and I see that contract maybe isn't up yet, and I see that, the contract ends in a year or two, 2025, whatever it is, and I have the opportunity to say, hey, Veve, you used to make this much money, now you make this much money. You used to have this many users, now you have this many users. Sentiment is going down. Like, again, this is what I would do as a salesperson. I would go to David, Dan, whoever. I was like, you guys used to make millions per week. The last 2 weeks, you haven't even grossed $1 million in sales, in gem sales. The sentiment is down, the numbers are down, everything is down. And I would use all of this negative. I would make a collage. I would absolute hit piece. I would take that Paul Barron video. I would take every single hippies video, and I would make a collage of 10 minutes of absolutely crapping on the company just so I could get a better deal as Disney. And obviously, I know in the back of my mind, as Randy Chavez, okay, I'm going back to work this week so I can buy more Omi. I'm officially in the top 500 wallets on Veve. So I know personally that this company is already a success. There's reasons for everything that I just said, and I could counteract every single argument that I could throw out there. Again, the key to debating is to be able to argue the other side better than the other side can, which I definitely can. So that would be my argument to Disney or to Veve if I was Disney, in order to lock down a several year contract. That's what I would do. And then I would go and just have that, because again, Veve, which is on, I imagine, most people's radars, whether it's, Facebook, whether it's Tesla, whether, Apple, there's going to be other offers. I mean, they're already negotiating with Pokemon. Before they finalize those contracts with Pokemon, I want to make sure I get the best deal. I get the best amount of money. I get the most, face time with the bosses. I mean, they're already they're already so busy. They're already a multi-billion-dollar company. You know, if I'm Disney, I want to make sure that I'm in their ear. I want to make sure that I lock them down for the longest thing, even if you didn't need to, even if their contract was, a few years away from expiring. Again, that's what I would do. Um, which is why, which is why I would go and, on the opposite end of that, if I were David and Dan, I would be like, oh, hey, um, I would say the same thing to other companies, or other IPs, other licenses like Hello Kitty, like Nickelodeon, and be like, hey, you want to, continue releasing your IP on this platform, which doesn't release your IP because they don't make money, because nothing sells out, because the community, is not there, or do you want to make money on our IP? We're still grossing X amount of money each week. We're still doing these are our numbers. If I were Veve, that's what I would say to get those licensors. I would absolutely, and again, David is much nicer than I am. I would absolutely squash the competition. I'd be an absolute shark and give no craps about what happened on other platforms. I think that part is probably played by Dan. He's a little more mean. He's great. I love him. Oh, I love both of them. Anyway, that's just kind of my ideas about the Disney contracts and the renewal. And again, obviously, I don't like talk to David like that. Like he's not going to tell me about that. Um, he might say something in a community update, whenever that is. That being said, we have a couple of other things to go over. I know I spent a lot of time talking on that. I'll go and see what the title is. MCP. Okay, so we got a bunch of stuff going on here. Let's take a look at the screenshot I took. MCP levels and points. We kind of figured this out a little bit when we went. I think it was like the first week it was out. I forget who it was, but someone was level 15, someone was level 19, and we were able to fill in the gaps. Okay, we have this many points up to the next level, so we know that you need X amount of points to get to this level. But now it's right here. It's between 1 and 100. I think for the most, I don't even think anyone can even get level 1, because I think like just for creating and opening the app, you get like 100 points. So I don't think anyone's gonna be level 1. It's like the SATs where you get like a couple hundred points just for writing your name correctly. Um, I think I'm level 41 currently. I think the most I've seen is 69 or 71. I'm comment nice down below for the 69. But you can only get 100, level 100. Like that's the max you can get. I'm not 100% sure. Well, it says 5 million points, and that's a lot. And it's pretty impossible to get, at least now, because you can only get so many sets. And after you get that many sets, maybe you can get a couple of sub 100s because you get more points for the top, 5% of mints, or special mints. And then you go and you have certain sets and comics, but you get less and less points for each duplicates that you have. So right now it's impossible to get that. Again, I even think Dr. Profit. Hello, my collectibles. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you too. You're awesome, man. I was in the airport the other day. I thought I saw you, but it wasn't you. But I thought it was, and I was like, and then I was like, oh, and this poor person is like just sees this like, and I was in. I had to reach my connecting flight, and I was so sweaty, and I was like, because freaking United, they land on time, and the person that went and checked me in, or I was given my badge to in Mexico, that they said, I can't, their plane is full. I have to check the bag. I was like, okay, so like, where do I go to get this, on my connecting flight? It says, well, you have to go to customs, and if you want it, but you don't need to. It's going to go to the next flight. You don't need to. You don't need to get it. But my phone charger was in there. I was like, I'll just get it on the next thing. And thank God I did, because if I didn't go and get it, they just left it there on the floor. Like I had to go. Anyway, so I had to go through customs. I had to go through there. I had to run like a half a mile to the next gate because they started boarding before I went through security. And I was like, oh my! And I made it. A couple people did not. They were old. So I go up to this guy, and he's in a red shirt. He's in a hat. I was like, so I go up to him, and he just sees this like sweaty, disgusting brown person going, and it felt, and then he's like, and I was like, oh, all right, never mind. And I was just like, it's a long day. Anyway, my collectibles, I appreciate you too. So we have, it's impossible to get to level 100 right now. I think the most I've seen is like either Dr. Profit or who's the other person that I saw that had a really high level. I'll show you real quick. As long as I go to this chat, I should be able to see his level, which is he's at 63. It's Phil Nice. Phil Nice is at level 63. Got over 1,000,000 points. I could have sworn there was someone else that had. Anyway, that was that, and then the other big thing on the MCP level is the ranks, which I don't know where I saw this, that I thought there was 23 ranks between starter and master collector, but there are 22. There are only 22, and it goes from starter down to bronze 4, bronze 3, bronze 2, and then it does the same thing going from bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and then after diamond 1 comes the master collector. I am very, very happy and proud of myself that I am a master collector as well. Like I said, I'm in the top 500 wallets now, finally. The reason, and I messed up a little bit here because I just happened to look. I was gonna sell my She-Hulk because I could have sold her for like 150, 160, whatever, and then I could use that to get more comics, so I could go and get that more into the top 500, like maybe top 450 at some point, not right away. But then I saw She-Hulk number 95, sub 100. Oh, I can't. At floor for like 169, and I was like, it's literally the floor. So I got it, because I'm an addict and I have no self-control. It is currently and now obviously the points drop. The floor is now 155. But I have the cheapest sub 100 on there for 205. I might keep it. I don't know. Super chat coming in from Gabe Vincent saying, "Thanks, Randy, for staying positive and the info you give to the Veve fan." Of course, is a horse. Friends Zenobia used to say that. I love her so much. I've been trying to get her on the podcast, but she's not. Speaking of people on the podcast, I will go and I'm going to start doing a lot more. My last one was Lou Perigine. He's been on the. He was actually my 4th person on the podcast ever, but he had just come back for that right now, a few hours ago, just because. But I happen to get Ajori Obari Nigalale, who is the senior presidential advisor for the president of Nigeria. He'll come on in the next couple months. I don't know when, but really proud that I got that one. It's, I don't just have American politicians on. I have international politicians on as well. Anywho, I forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, being positive. That's the other thing that I've seen is that you have. Again, this is people's first bear. I was talking to a whale of mine the other day, and just saying like how, just going over the weekly news, whatever, because they don't really have time to do that themselves. And I was like, okay, well, we'll do. We go over the news every now and then. And he's like, "Oh, I'm glad you're so bullish. According to Twitter, the company's dying." I was like, yeah. It's a lot of people's first bear markets. So, they got a lot of them beside themselves. There's actually a whale group that I'm in that I don't advise. I'm just in the group that are very beside themselves because they got Omi at 4 zeros, all of them, and they were going to sell at 2 cents and it only went to like 1.2 cents and it went back down, and so yeah, they're quite salty, but they're all diamond handing. None of them have sold anything, so I'm very proud of them for that. Anyway, we have some other stuff to go over as well. Where was I? Try to go over when the last video was, but I don't. It's been a while. All right, so I went over that. Went over the Absolute Savage. The other one that I wanted to go over, if you didn't watch the video before, was David Yu retweeting the Collectibles Guru. The Collectibles Guru had given his kid like a Pokemon card pack. He pulled out a Charizard. It was a really, really fun video. And David Yu retweeted that. And David knows by now that he has what he does, people look into. So if he's retweeting something, especially Pokemon video that was uploaded over a month ago, why retweet it now? I just my conspiracy mind is going aflutter there. And outside of that, you have. Oh, nope, can't read that. Can't read that either. Wow, I really have to be more organized. I was in Mexico. I saw a bunch of Chucky dolls over there. I was like, I didn't have a Chucky doll to take a picture with them, but I just thought it was fun. Happy birthday to Superman. It's been 85 years to the day since he had gone on and become a sensation. This is his 85th birthday. So go and comment "Happy Birthday, Superman" down below. Anyway, it's been 30 minutes since I've been talking. I won't go over really the rest of the news. I'll just go over the comments right now, and then maybe a little more news later. We got Bill Gardner saying epic. Yo, what up, Bill Gardner? How's it going? Thanks for the support and comments on the podcast before. Wes saying MCP. Dude, there's so much more to MCP. You know, it's like Transformers. Like, there's more to them than meets the eye. Oh, God, I love Peter Cullen so much. But there's a lot. If you go to that link that's on Veve's Twitter, you can learn about the collector level, the collector ranks, earning points, and what I was really curious about was the spending points, where MCP Phase 2 is currently in progress and will offer the following. Additional waitlist entries. So collectors are able to spend MCP points in exchange for additional entries to a Veve waitlist drop. The waitlist drop should be dropping fairly soon. It's either, I know everyone hates the word soon, either this quarter or next quarter, but we will get that before Q4. That supposedly is already done. They're supposedly just waiting for other things to roll that out. I think they need to roll out MCP first. I don't know about bronze tickets because it seems like it would be a little unfair for them to roll out MCP waitlist spending points before that you get the opportunity to use your OMI for bronze tickets for extra entries for those two. It would make sense that if you have the 10,000 collectible drop, 33% goes to waitlist MCP point spenders, 33% is just to people that are smashing that buy now button, and 33% would go to people that are spending their OMI, the bronze tickets, you know, whatever. But again, I don't know how they're doing it. You know, that'll roll out at some point. But again, if you use those MCP points and you don't get it, you don't get those MCP points back, which I was really excited for them to do with OMI. Are they still doing that? I don't know. We'll see. And Connor says hi. Hi, Connor. Hot Dog Car People says, hi, Randy. Hi. Skinny Pete says, evening, Randy. What up, Skinny Pete? I hope you're doing well. Sandbox says, DeSantis is coming after Disney's NFTs. He could try. That's not going to happen. Unknown Veve OG Whale says, hi. Felipe B says, hi. Everyone's using that emoji, that hand emoji. I mean, dude, the amount of politicians that don't understand tech, I don't even know if, and this is not singular, I can never understand this word. Consistent, this is not subject to just DeSantis. It is to most American politicians that have zero idea what like blockchain is, or what, God, I can't believe like if AI is going to be the end of us all, it's going to be because of American politicians, because they're so technologically illiterate that they just, you know, typically for a lot of these things, you don't have regulations till after something happens. But with AI, I feel like that could be very, anyway, I don't even think DeSantis knows what a NFT is or a blockchain is. Yeah, I wish he would really stop warring with Disney. That's very unpopular in general to not war with Disney, but also, and again, I like a decent amount of DeSantis' policies. I like a decent amount that when, you know, the whole country was shut down, Florida's like, no. And then, you know, you could still live your life. You could still go and be free. So I do like that happened, but yeah, the warring with Disney is really not that smart. And again, if he stops warring with Disney, then maybe you have a couple of people like kind of on the right that will support of Disney, and a lot of people on the right tend to be financial people. And if they can go and get into this, then I think a lot more money would come. Speaking of which, I will probably be conversing with different whales on a weekly basis now. I can't really say exactly what my position is, but it's going to be part of my work is going to be conversing and advising certain whales. It won't be on NFTs, obviously. It'll be on something else, but I'll be in their ear, and I can be like, oh, you want to get into crypto? You want to get into alternative assets? Digital collectibles seem pretty perfect. Anyway, the incorrigible Goat Slayer says Tarzan equals low-key full degen play. Again, the Tarzan that they got, the Tarzan that they did is not the Disney Tarzan. If it was, it would have sold a little bit better. The Tarzan that we have is still cool. I think it's, do I have one? No. But that's just because, again, I don't have a Hulk. And Hulk is so, like, again, we were talking about Moana before. You know, Hulk's in that top 10, superheroes. Moana, made over $500 million, and they're giving her a live action movie very quickly after she had come out. Again, it took 20 plus years for Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid. It's almost taken 30 years for Little Mermaid. But yeah, that live action Moana movie, which I think there's a little bit of controversy about that. A lot of the controversy has been, oh, where white characters are becoming black or Spanish or whatever it is. And then now there's controversy because of Moana, you have, she's dark skinned, and the woman that's playing Moana, who is half Hawaiian, is lighter skinned. And it's like, man, people just can't win, like Disney just can't win with that. Damn if they do, damn if they don't. Anyway, I don't have Tarzan, not because I don't think he's cool. I don't have the locomotive. It's just because I'm so focused on getting that top 500 wallets. And again, I went over this in my video before. I'll do a little quick recap here. There's many people, especially men, that have this like need, that have this want to display their name everywhere. It's like marking their scent. It's like leaving their scent out everywhere so that other people know who they are. It's like a status thing. Oh, my name's on there. Like I remember one time it was at Belfast Gastropub. If you drank enough beers, you can get your name on. And I never drank enough beers to do it, but if you drank enough beers, you can get your name on the wall. I wanted to do that so they would know that the real Randy Chavez was there. And this is not significant. This is not. It's not relegated to just me. I would represent a fairly decent amount of the population that would 100% do this. Again, I wrote up my video that there's a show called Billions where Damian Lewis goes and he plays a billionaire in there, but he pays $100 million for the naming rights to a building so he can put his own name up there. If you have if you have other people like me, which there will be, people that want to, swing their little airmen around and they want to go and say like, oh, look at me, I'm in the top 500 wallets. I don't care what you call that. Call that like toxic masculinity. Call it, being like, oh, I need to put my name on there just so people know I'm a big shot. It's freaking cool having your name up on things. If you ever read, God, what's the name of that book? How to Win Friends and Influence People. Dale Carnegie. Really great book. 100% recommend reading that. I used to read it every year. I've read that book a couple times. One of the most important lessons in that book is people's names. When he was a child, he had got a bunch of bunnies. Like he had a rabbit. His rabbit had bunnies, and he said, okay. He went to the children of the neighborhood and says, whoever can collect the most grass or hay, to feed these bunnies, I'll name the bunnies after you. It got them to work so freaking hard because having a name is important. Like why do people go and they say, I'm naming my child after you, and the other person's like, oh my God, that's They do that because that means a lot to them. The name is important. Even for people like, let's say, who are like illiterate and you can't read, you can read your name. I don't care if you can't read this cup that says food hall, make your drink disappear, not the glass, please return. Rip. I did not return this. I don't even think this is mine. Is it mine? No. Maybe it is. People that are illiterate, they can read their name because it's familiar to them. They can write it. That's the one thing they can do. I don't really see too many people talking about this. I've had people tell me I'm very crazy for this because it's not like an official top ranking MCP thing. It's just something that people are doing. But I don't know. This is, in my opinion, one of those things where you could really see a lot of these collectibles pump up a bit. And this only really pertains to the lower end of collectibles. Would it be ideal to get in the top 500 wallets with stuff that you actually want? Yeah, absolutely. If it happens, it happens. But what I'm getting at here is, and there's a couple of other people that I've seen, that Brian McSpadden on Facebook says, I couldn't have I didn't get my daily dose of comics the other day because someone had swept them all up, and it was me. There's never again going to be a time where you have more than like a 12-hour window where there's comic books that are under $1.80, that are under 1.8 gems, because I've been buying them all. That's how I'm in the top 500 wallets now. That's what I'll do to get as high as I can. And because I'm going back to work, I should be able to do this every week. Not that I'll spend hundreds a week on it, because I do want to save up for a logo. I do want to get more OMI. I do have a little bit more OMI, because it dropped to like 00071, last night. Is like, all right, so I have like 160.2 million OMI, and I'm really trying not to buy more OMI because I have enough for now, but so cheap, like, why not? And there's a bunch of people in TA. There's a bunch of people that are like, oh, I'm telling you, it's going to 0004. I doubt it, but we'll see. I mean, it's possible. I didn't think we'd get down here again. Well, I also thought we would have a lot more than we do. Like, I thought we'd have an exchange by now, some utility by now. That's really the only reason why I see it's down here. And again, we will get utility by next quarter, so I'm really not worried long term. Again, I have my position. I don't really care where it does short term. But if it goes low, I'm I'm gonna forego that logo, and I'm gonna get some more. Anywho, moving on. But yeah, Tarzan full. I don't know if he's D-Gen play. Maybe he is. It's good. Cat says Disney knew early on, like we knew, Veve was the tops in digital collectibles. That's why they signed on. They're still the best, and that's why they'll stay. Oh, Squid Cat, I was drinking the beer that you gave me, but my tummy is making the rumblies. When I got that podcast before, when I got that confirmation that the senior advisor to the president of Nigeria was coming on, I decided to celebrate with some cake. So I got an Entenmann's deviled icing cake. Oh, so good. I only ate half. So I didn't eat the whole thing, and I had a beer with it. And it's like, well, Chavez, beer and cake doesn't sound that well. My roommates had 100% told me that, and I was like, well, if you've ever watched The Outsiders, and you go and you see Emilio Estevez, I think he plays 2-bit, he goes and he's watching Steamboat Willie, and he has a cake and he has a beer. It's like, ooh, look, Mickey's on TV. He's like, like, it looked amazing. So I wanted to recreate that, and I did. And now my tummy hurts. So I'm surprised I'm on here this long. I might have to go to the bathroom. Anyway, Michael Miranowicz says, great news. It is great news. I believe so as well. Arturo, Manifesting Vibe, says, oh yeah, the Quid Disney collectibles are interesting, but not as good as the Veve ones. Also, yeah, Marvel, Disney, they cut ties with Quid because, yeah. Anyway, John Harm says, finally got MCP in app today. Nice. Got the urge to buy a few more collectibles today after getting skunked for Spidey 121 drop. I gotcha. Yeah, I missed the drop today too. I was up, but again, I was so tired from traveling. I was done. I was like, ugh. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I think like 30% of people still don't have MCP. Everyone will get it this quarter. It will roll out to everyone this quarter. And we are supposed to get Veveverse this quarter as well. So they said mid-April. I told y'all it wasn't going to be till after. The Dope Ryan did say that the beta emails would go out in a couple days, so we should get that soon. But like I said it would be this quarter, maybe mid-May. We'll see. Wes says, rip Fantastic Beasts. I know. The Incorrigible Goat Slayer. Does anybody get Trump Season 2? I saw a video, I think, on Instagram about that. Trump was doing a Season 2 of NFTs, and I missed the first one. I missed the first one. I wanted to mint. I didn't. This one, I don't know. Is it out yet? I'm not sure. I've missed so much over the last few days. Sleeping Comic says, I didn't know their names before the movie. Says, but me and my daughter are the only two people that like the Eternals movie. Yeah, especially when they have Star Fox at the end, that after credits movie. And they actually so a lot of people are saying like, oh, they don't reference, that giant body, that giant hand that's sticking out of the Indian Ocean now, in any of the other MCU movies. But they do, though. If you watch in She-Hulk, they have the articles online where she's like on her laptop on like the dating sites. It says like, what is this mysterious hand? Like they have Easter eggs for that inside other Marvel properties. It's just you kind of have to look for them, I don't know. Jimbo Lee Lingo says, hello, Master Randy. Hello, Veve fam. Jimbo Lee Lingo, I was talking about you the other day, saying how awesome you are. Sorry, hips. Well, those are my hands, or my wrists, not my hips. Jordan Riz says, yo, Randy. Yo, what up, Jordan? How's it going, fam? I hope you're doing well. Sorry, I keep missing the Around the Akomi-verse. I just been... I've been staying busy. Bogart says, picked up Veve today. Had to join him with his ooze Starlight Orb. Didn't notice anything happen, but still got to play around a bit. Oh, that's cool. I do want him too. Oh god, I got text messages. Yep, should be good. Should be good. Someone has. Oh Jesus, no. Wait, what? Wait, hold up here. Seen the world. Oh, hold on. Oh no, okay. So I guess on the MCP levels. All right, Master Collector ranks. All right, hold on. Which one is this? No, starter. If you go to the Master Collector, Veve Master Collector stuff, and say as the MCP expands, points will also blah 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 level rank base privileges, OMI reward tiers, and more. Ah, but where was the? I'm missing the first time I've seen the word OMI. Oh, what about OMI utility? We believe in a loyalty program for all types of Veve collectors. A separate article will be released in due course detailing how OMI tokens can be used in the Master Collector program to boost MCP points and your digital collections. Can't wait for that. So they are mentioning OMI, but again, we will have to wait for that. I don't know when that article is going to drop. I hope this quarter. We'll see. But again, what good is an article without? I mean, we got the whole OUP development roadmap, and then they scrapped that. So article would be cool to see what their new plans are. I really like the OMI development roadmap, and I don't think they're scrapping that for something worse. It's got to be something better. So I'm really curious to see what we do. I'm really curious to see what who that. Hold on. Oh, come on. I didn't. Oh, hold on. How the hell? So when I mentioned before that, are you listening to the live? Can you listen to the live right now? I'll explain it there. Clipboard, giving you my YouTube link. All right. I'll get to that in a minute. What was I talking about now? Oh yeah. So the only thing. I liked the OVP development roadmap. I like those red circles. I like everything that they had, and they're not going to go and replace that with something worse. It's only going to be something better. And again, I like that version. If you have an OUP that's better than that, I'm very curious to see what that is. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm like I said, I'm very curious to see what that is. If they have any crazy announcements on there. Oh, no, I don't want that. Nope, don't want that either. Also someone has too much. Also, the most expensive gun skin in CSGO just sold for around $400,000. Oh my god. Y'all think Special Mint Waltz? Y'all think Special Mint Spider-Man's ain't gonna go for 6 figures? Most expensive gun in CSGO sold for $400K. My good golly gosh. They also bought the $100K knife to go with it. Oh my gosh, so it's a $500,000 deal. Oh, that's incredible. I'm so beside myself. I'm happy for them, I guess. Also, if everyone can smash that like button, that is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon. Smash that super. I don't. But speaking of non-free ways, thank you for the super chat, Jimbo Lee Lingo. Oh, thank you. Oh, meow meow. Give me that smiley face. Yes, you are my fire, the one desire. I have a buddy that I want to explain the thing that I had with the secret rare Eye of Agamotto, where I said I sold for ETH, but I think I didn't sell it for ETH. I sold it for actual gems, but I'll wait until I know my friend is listening before I go over that. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so Bill Gardner saying you picked up the Veve today. I wanted to get him. I want to get a bunch of other stuff, but I just, I don't have a ton of funds. But Veve's a secret rare, and you can get them from below retail. Like 20, retail was 30 gems, and now he's like 29, 28. The character's fine. It's cool. I like the character. Forgot about the character after I saw the movie and I forgot about him up until he was mentioned on the. Sorry, plug this in. I forgot about him until he was mentioned. Like he's a very forgettable character. But again, in the movie, it was pretty cool. Anyway, my collectibles. Thank you for the super chat saying appreciate all you do, Randy. Oh, thank you. Appreciate you as well. I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all are my bays. Y'all are my children. Excuse me. Brian Wall says, "Hey, Randy. Thanks for all you do for the community. What do you think of the edition sizes of the older comics on the app versus Drop Now? Amazing Spider-Man 1 with 60,000 versus a 5,000 run comic now with less. Yeah. You have, I mean, obviously those are much, much higher mint runs, but you also have a lot of the collectibles from back in the day that are in bot accounts and they're frozen and people don't have access to them. And we don't know how many of those there are. So I'm really curious to see how many of those 60,000 are actually in that. So I'll keep y'all posted. Brian Walsh also says important, but I mean Spider-Man 1 should really be the scarcer comic. Sorry for spelling. Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, if you have something like, Amazing Fantasy 15 or Fantastic Four number 5, number 1, whatever. Yeah, you're gonna have things that are already gonna be grails, that are already gonna be so super fantastic that people are gonna want them anyway. So I don't really think you need to have scarcity for those. I mean, if you do, like let's say Amazing Fantasy 15, which had 10,000 editions. That one's like a grail. That one, I would argue that is probably more important or is going to be a better ROI than actual MC1, like Marvel Comics number 1. Now again, I don't have either of those. I don't have any skin in the game. I think both of them are going to do extraordinarily well, but the MC1 again originally had 60,000 copies. I don't know how many of those are actually left after the sweeping of the bot accounts, but the Amazing Spider-Man, and even those probably have some that are in bot accounts that are frozen right now. Anyway, moving on. And Gabe Vincent, thank you so much for the super chat, saying thanks, Randy, for staying positive and all the info you give to the Veve fam. Of course, it's a horse. Mike Collectibles says hilarious airport story. I wish it was me. LOL, can't wait to hang out again. Cheers. Cheers, mate. Love you, brother. Art Churro, Manifesting Vibes, says the Chucky doll was funny and happy birthday, Superman. Yeah. People in Mexico are really, at least in Mexico City, they're pretty awesome. It's just another city. Like obviously it's not, like northern Mexico where stuff gets crazy. Mexico City is just, it's fun. It's like it's any other city. Bill Gardner says, how much was that card worth that the kid was freaking out about in the video? Hollow Charizard. Oh, it wasn't like an old school Charizard. It was a newer Charizard. I don't know. Maybe $100, give or take. Came out recently that there's I forget, I think it was Pokemon, whatever Pokemon set it was. There's a certain Umbreon chase card where someone was at the company was taking Umbreon cards, and after they would take the Umbreon cards, was just trying to sell them, and it became a whole thing. But yeah, I don't think it was that much. Kids just get excited. Bill Gardner says, can't wait for that 4th Transformers movie. I mean, we have like 5 Transformers movies already. You have the first 2 with Megan Fox, and the 3rd one with a friend of mine was friends with that model. I think she was some type of model, maybe Victoria's Secret, the blonde that was in the 3rd one. And then you have Marky Mark's in the next 2, and then this one I think is the 6th one. But yeah, I can't wait either. I am in love with those things. They have a Harambe looking one. I think my favorite one might have been. I remember seeing it on 4th of July in like 2014, Age of Extinction, where Optimus Prime is riding on a T-Rex as he's like, oh my god, that was freaking beautiful. That was probably my favorite one. Anyway, this next one I'm super pumped for. There's a Power Rangers movie that's coming out tomorrow as well. It's on Netflix. It's like 30 years later, and they have Amy Jo Johnson. They have a bunch of. Do they have Amy Jo Johnson? I know they have Billy. I know, again, I love Amy Jo Johnson. I love the cast. Like, obviously, you're not going to have Tommy in there because, RIP. Everyone comment F down below to pay respects to Jason David Frank. And my friend is not coming in with the, I don't know if she's here. Mark D's, I thought the MCP points wagered and not won, you're able to return 90%. I mean, that might have been the old one, but on this one, it clearly says you don't get doo-doo. Because tickets get returned? I don't, again, I just looked at that. I don't think they do. I'll look at it again real quick, but spending points. Collectors will be able to spend MCP points in exchange for additional entries to Veve waitlist drop. They increase the chances of securing collectible reservation at drop time. You can buy as many additional entries to a waitlist as your MCP points allow. Additional waitlist entries is the first benefit that collectors will be able to take advantage of using MCP points. More benefits will follow in subsequent phases, and we will update the article accordingly. How it works. Before drop time, the waitlist will open. Upon entering the waitlist, collectors can opt to spend MCP points to gain additional entries or seats, increasing the probability of landing a collectible reservation. Points spent on waitlist entries are considered spent and will not be refunded. This is bold. This is in black. I will repeat. Points spent on waitlist entries are considered spent and will not be refunded, even if collectors are unsuccessful in landing the drop, so use them wisely. So again, what you guys are saying might have been part of the old one, but this is a new one. And regardless of the number of waitlist entries redeemed, collectors will only be able to secure a single collectible reservation. Purchase can then be completed using gems. So yeah, got that. Jimboli Lingo says, thank you for your comments. Oh, of course, Jimboli Lingo. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, gotta. Hold on. Oh, yep, doing that. And then we're gonna do another that. Okay. There we go. Hi, Churro. Oh yeah, the CS:GO skins are insane. $500,000. I know. That was wild to me. But says, my bad. I mean the Transformers beast. Yeah, the Transformers. Oh, I can't wait for that. So excited. Arturo says, rip the Rangers that have passed away. F. Yes, agreed. And Tito says 1 + 1 = 69. Nice. Brian Arsenal says, once Omi starts pumping, people will cry that they didn't get in at these lower prices. Agreed. Feels bad, man. I was talking to this girl in Mexico. She's actually from Colombia. She's in like the Web3 space, but she doesn't really have crypto because she's not really sure of it. And I like spent my time with her like trying to convince her like get Omi, get the good stuff. And I think after some time she was like getting it. It was a great girl. I don't say her name just in case anyone knows. I don't think anyone knows her. She's not in the Veve fam. She like kind of knew what Veve was. I was repping my Veve shirts everywhere in Mexico though. Anyway, yeah, I was like, hey, even the last guy I had on the podcast, Lou Perigine, was like, hey, he already has a couple million on me. I think he spent like maybe 10 or 12K on it, but it was, like 5,000 up 0.007, a little more 0.05, 0.02, and now down here. So I think he's going to get a little more. Keep you all posted on it. Jordan Reese says 100%. Mm-hmm. Season 3 OG says, Omi to the moon. I can't wait for it. I don't know when it'll happen. And so if we're talking about me going back to work here, I really need a piece of bread to soak up this cake and the alcohol. If we're talking about going back to work, it is through the third quarter. So if I go and Omi moons tomorrow, I'm stuck working for another, until September 30th. So it's 5.5 months, or maybe 5. Yeah, it's April 18th, more than halfway through this. So yeah, it's 5.5 month deal through the second quarter, through the third quarter. I'm hoping that Omi stays down here for that entire time. Most likely in Q3 it will start moving, but I couldn't negotiate down to just working for 2.5 months. It'll probably be, like I said, when we have Omi to NFT in Q3, that's when it'll probably start to move, because then it'll have a use case, it'll have utility, and like actual utility, not just like, oh, we know it's coming, like it's actually here. They said that's a Q2 priority. I'm not expecting it in Q2. Like when they said, oh, Veveverse beta will be rolled out mid-April. Will it? Again, you have to go and really give them, like, anyone that used to buy and sell weed back in the day, like in high school, they say they're going to be somewhere at 6 o'clock. They're not going to show up until 8 o'clock. You have to go on that, that time. With tech, it's the same thing. They say 1 month is probably gonna be a month later. Say 1 quarter is probably gonna be a quarter later. Again, I'm not saying it's not coming. I put everything I have into this because I believe in it. It's just the timelines. You gotta give them an extra quarter or so. Mirestone Rand says, "Howdy from the ranch. Did we already talk about Trump NFT 2 selling out today? How much did they even make? Let's go to the. While I'm searching how much the Trump NFT has made, is that I mentioned in my video before that I had a secret rare Eye of Agamotto that I'm not sure was going to be going up or down, and I wanted to just lock in, being in that top 100, or I'm sorry, the top 500 wallets. So a friend of mine, and the reason I gave her a discount is because she's in a specific group. I said, I'll give you this secret rare Eye of Agamotto for $375, when at the time it was like $405 on the floor. And she said, okay, I have some ETH that I'll have to, convert. So she sold her ETH for obviously fiat, put the fiat into the app, and then we did it. And obviously that took a day or so. So after when we actually did do the deal, secret Eye of Agamotto was up to like $500. I was like, fudge. It's down to now like $420 now. But anyway, I explained that before, and I guess it came across that I sold something for ETH. Obviously, I didn't. You can go and you check the blockchain, check whatever. So yeah, that was it. Anyway, Trump NFTs. I think the first time they sold how much money did Trump NFTs make? Because I know they made a couple million on the first one. Trump has made between 100,000 and $1 million in income from NFTs, according to his 2022 financial disclosure. Trump. All right, so Forbes says Trump releases digital trading cards again after first batch of NFTs sells out in one day and raises eyebrows. Former President Donald Trump announced Tuesday he's releasing a second round of superhero digital trading cards with cartoonish images of him at $99 a piece as the 2024 GOP candidate looks to keep raising money and rally his base after his historic indictment earlier this month. Trump Series 2 digital cards became available Tuesday. Trump announced on his social media platform, Truth Social, saying he is releasing them due to the great success of the previous round in December, though that release was mocked even by his allies. NFTs include images of the former president as playing card King of Hearts, carrying a sword and signaling a heart sign with his hands, as well as a rock and roll Trump in a full leather suit and sunglasses, and one of him grilling hot dogs and hamburgers with American flag pins. I could use one of those right now. Some of those cards will be one of a kind, meaning the purchaser will be the only person with a copy, while others will be made in limited edition sets with no more than 10 copies of any single card in existence. That is dope. Trump also announced the sweepstakes program, offering a chance at a private dinner at his Mar-a-Lago, Florida estate for people who buy 47 cards, which is only valued at $4,600, an apparent reference to the hopes of becoming the 47th president. That is wild, because, again, to speak to a president, again, if you have, let's say Obama has a dinner, right, and it costs $30,000 a plate, you can go and buy a plate. You can buy $30,000, worth of dinner, which is probably not that good food. Although I'm not gonna lie, the night before we went off to basic training or MEPS, oh my God, we got fed good that night. Anyway, and when you pay that $30,000 to get a seat at the table, you don't necessarily get to talk to the president. At least for Obama, it was very, very busy. You maybe got a minute and a half with Joe Biden, and that's it. So for Trump to say that if you have 47 cards, which again, on the drop, it was $4,700. And, but again, that's a chance to get the private estate, which is still probably worth it. I mean, how else are you going to, God, if he was still on Twitter, I'd be tagging him all the time. But it doesn't say how much he made. First batch of digital cards include 44,000 NFTs listed at 99 each. So that was 4.4 million for that. Minted. Okay, so 47,000 were minted the second batch this week. Quoting 46,000 available on collecttrumpcards.com. Purchases are limited to 47 per customer. If they're using a credit card and transaction, people who buy them with cryptocurrency can purchase up to 100 cards. Despite Trump's NFT selling out in less than a day in December. Value of digital assets, including NFTs, cryptocurrencies, plummeted. Yep. Dropped 97%. Damn. Yeah, so he made, I guess, around the same thing as he did last time, which is wild. Anyway, where was I? Arturo says, I only have like $100 worth of OMI, but positive point of view is I have something at least. You do. You got something. And again, when we do a 10x, you'll have 1,000. And when we do a 100x, you'll have 10,000. However long that may take. Probably a couple of years. Smarty Pants saying, yo, what I missed? Just back from my workout. Yo, what up, Smarty Pants? Hope you're doing all right. I'm good. Yeah, I'm feeling all right. Baby, I'ma have the best freaking night of my life. Sorry. Milestone Rants is 4 million. Yep. G-Flow says, Randy, are we at the bottom for OMI? I'm looking to accumulate a few more million. Listen, I've been buying here knowing that we could go to 0004. Are we going to? I don't think so, but I didn't think we'd get down here, so who knows? I'm buying here knowing full well that we can get to 0004. Why am I buying down here knowing that we could do that? Chavez, we still don't have utility. We still don't have exchanges. We still don't have, appropriate marketing. And when we are marketing, we're not really marketing towards, I think, the right crowd. But I'm doing it because they could turn this around on a dime. It's not going to take much for sentiment turnaround. It's not going to take much. Again, one YouTube video from a actual influencer that says, yeah, hey, I'm looking at OMI. Boom. Suddenly, and get that with an exchange and utility and Veveverse rolling out. Again, it's not going to take much. Probably going to take a couple quarters, but it's not going to take much for OMI to get on people's radars. So I would rather buy down here with the risk of it going down even further, as opposed to not buying down here at 0072 with the hopes of it going down, and then suddenly it moons, and suddenly, missed it, silly, in my opinion, for me to not buy down here. I don't know about anyone else, though. G-Flow says, has recent events changed your 10-cent prediction 2025? No. If anything, it's enforced it. Very, very positive of that. It probably will even go further. G-Flow says, you're the man. Need your business back. Need your bullishness back. Yeah. I need everything back. I'm 100% bullish, but that's why I'm going back to work. Gonna get more. Jordan Reed says, OMI gonna fly next year. I wouldn't mind if it did fly this year, though. Yeah, I wouldn't mind either. Becoming that millionaire in 2021, and then, going up and down, and then having it again in 2022, I would really like it if this year it were to go back up to 00, I think 65 I needed at. Millionaire 3 years in a row. That'd be nice. But yeah, again, if it could stay down here for the next 6 months, I'll be buying more. I want that logo, which might take a little while. But the goal is 169 million. But if it stays down even higher, if it's, I could, after the 6 months are up, or the 5.5 months are up, I can go like, yeah, I can work for you in October. I do have to move at some point, but we'll see. Bill Garner says, Trump cards. Yeah, we went over them. I didn't get any, but probably should at some point. Jordan Reed says, I'm playing with some AI software and making a bunch of OMI short songs. Keen, slightly creepy. Oh God, I don't know. We'll see. Bill Gardner says, I'm still buying OMI. These prices are gravy. Yeah, Bill Gardner, I knew you had properties. I didn't know you had that many properties. I saw that before on the thing that we were talking about, but wild. Jordan Reed says 169 million OMI. Everyone smash the like button for 69. Jordan Reed, you could make a Randy Chavez video if you wanted. You could be like, you could be me if you wanted to. I guess I could be, maybe I could be, I don't know. It'd be hard. I couldn't do it for like an hour as you. I could do maybe like a 5 to 8 minute video as you. And it would go to NFTs, it would go to wherever. It would go. I don't really know much about your drop shipping business. And I don't really know much about, well, I do know a little bit about veganism, so I can talk a little bit about that. Obviously Pokemon. So yeah, I think there's enough. I think there's enough to go around. Jordan Reed says, we're on, brother. We're on. Bill Gardner says, I was picking up those condos for $23K. Oh, and now they go for like $80 to $90K. Oh, that's That's amazing. Oh, dude, I'm so jelly of people that can. Who is that? Who is what? It's me. Oh, all right. Anyway, I think I'm gonna bounce because I do have some things to get back to, and I do have some other stuff I gotta get to. But yeah, I'll subscribe. I do videos every day. I'll do a video every day this week, as always. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashie. Bye-bye, Dashie. I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, meow, meow. Thank you for the super chats. I love you all. I love you all so much. Meow, meow, meow. My tummy hurts. See ya. Bye.